Evening. Shit. I really hate Facebook's go live shit. It don't make any sense anymore. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It has been a very long time since I have gone live on all three of my platforms. So here I am, and I wanted to hop on here. Hey, bro. Hey, Terry. Everyone should go follow him. He's a supreme artist. Terry did him on Instagram, and also a great vocalist as well. Today has been a day of setbacks. I don't know what in the Handmaid's Tale is going on, but what I do know is that I saw it coming. Um, the conservative evangelicals have been plotting for a very long time to upend women's rights of choice. And it is very unfortunate that on today, on what is this, Friday, June 24th, Scottus, along with Uncle Ruckus, chose to upend Roe versus Wade. And Roe versus Wade is a woman's right to choose if they want to carry a life or get rid of a life. I was just dumbfounded. I just honestly could not believe that they decided, yeah, today's the day that we are going to annihilate a woman's right of choice. And I've thought about this. The lawyer in me, the creative in me. Oh, you've been talking about it all day too, Terry. I've just been thinking about it because I work remote, so I don't have a lot of people to talk about it with, other than my friends that I talk to, via phone and social media. The lawyer in me and the creative in me at the same time often wonders and ponders, should the government even have a say in medical decisions due to HIPAA laws? That has been my thought about it. Now, I'm going to have to do some research on this, but we know the overarching protections of HIPAA. HIPAA don't even allow your mama and daddy to know some of your business. Back in the day when we were in college, some of us went to college, your parents could know your grades, your medical, all of that. Okay, but nowadays everything's on lockdown, and HIPAA is part of the reason why. It ain't nobody's business what you do and what you got going on. But I just, and for Uncle Ruckus, now anyone who knows me knows I call Clarence Thomas Uncle Ruckus. If you watch Boondocks, Uncle Ruckus, he was the sold out Black person. If you watch Django Unchained, he's Steven. Okay. I was sitting there thinking to myself, sir, you do not have a leg to stand on to say anything about rolling back anything. Okay. You need to be worried about Jenny. Okay. And the part that she played in this damn January 6th insurrection bullshit that went on last year. Okay. Maria, what's your question? What about his opinion? I don't like Uncle Ruckus at all. And I read a lot of his opinions in law school. I quite frankly often felt like, I said, is he in the same room with everybody? Is he in the same room? Like, do he know where he is? Jesus, fix it, Lord. I just really, I'm really disappointed in this country overall, in general. When it comes to, I mean, Terry, I'm dead ass serious, because I can't remember. I was in con law or constitutional law as well, but we are in law school. You'll hear us always say con law, and the comedian Eddie Griffin will call it con. It's a con. Constitution. It's a con. That's what he says. But it's something as simple as Everyone else in the court is saying the sky is blue. This dude talking about it's green, goddamn it. And you just like, what the is you on PCP or what? Like what are you saying, man? But what gets me is that he then has the audacity and the mendacity to say, oh, we're going to also talk about birth control too. Okay, when you do that, pharmaceutical companies going to come upside your head. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to get oops upside your head. Term limits are going to start. They are going to petition and pay for term limits. Legislators will consider term limits. Okay, that's what's going to start happening, Uncle Ruckus. And since you're so big, bad, and bold, let's not talk about your interracial marriage as well. Okay. Let's not forget Loving was also a Supreme Court decision. You want to talk about rolling back gay marriages. Okay. Breaking up homes and shit. Okay. But I thought the conservative was about families and home. If they ain't bothering you, that's none of your business. But he was very bold about it. Like we may also even consider in the future birth control and gay marriages. But you ain't concerned about you and Jenny, sir. And let's not talk about what I just found out about Uncle Ruckus. Somebody wrote an article back in 2016 about Uncle Ruckus. First of all, I did not know this man had been married to a black woman, and I'm trying to figure out what strong black sister was married to him. Okay, I said, what in the OJ is going on here? So he was married to a black woman and has a black son. Okay, didn't know that. Okay, not only that, this former prosecutor alleges that Uncle Ruckus often liked to engage in threesomes. I said, say what name? And he was obsessed with cleanliness. He bathed all the time, 2 and 3 times a day, so much so to his skin chapped. So then she had to start introducing him to baths and things that would keep his skin soft and palatable. I'm sure Jenny is reaping the rewards from that. Anyway, I wanted to hop on here to just briefly say, women, we cannot sit back and be idle. I personally am a woman of a certain age and of a certain makeup where that's not even an issue. If it is, Jesus wept and Mary is my other mama. Okay. I just really was like, y'all. And the thing about it is that there's this propaganda going around right now. I want y'all to watch this. Medical professionals will tell you women can get pregnant and want to be pregnant, but are unable to carry the baby to term because it is an ectopic pregnancy, which if I didn't look it up, but I remember a couple of friends have told me in my lifetime that they've had that and they have to abort the child because the woman will die if that pregnancy continues. And unfortunately, it doesn't. You've got states right now who are even saying, we don't care if you were raped. We don't care if it's a medical thing. It's God's will for you to have this child. And it's God's will for you to die or live. And my thing is this, it is also God's will. It is also God's infinite knowledge and blessings that he has blessed us to be able to have medical professionals that can tell us what is in our best interest. It is not legislators. It is not the government who should be telling us what we should do with our bodies, period. If you're so concerned about a woman getting pregnant, you can always go get the snip, men. Snip, snip. Free will, free choice. In religion, particularly in Christianity, we have a choice. We can follow Christ, we can follow the precipice and all that, or we can just do our own thing and hang out there and suffer the consequences on Judgment Day. Just like in Buddhism, you can choose peace or you can choose violence. What are you choosing today? You can choose to worry over every day, or you can choose to seek peace and just live in the present moment and let what comes be. Almost all religions I know have some sort of choice, and there are consequences. But it would seem to me that the Supreme Court and the law of this land has decided that women, you are less than, and you do not have a choice anymore. I don't know what kind of world we're growing up in. I don't know what kind of world we're in. I just keep saying all the time, any day now, Jesus, just come back riding on the cloud, Lord, because it's getting crazy. The earth is ghetto. We're dealing with a lot. And because I am a comedian, I'm going to put some humor on this. Who watched Versus last night? Jesus, that was a precursor to the trash, the dumpster fire that came today, Jesus. I mentioned that on my call. There's tons of women that have been raped, women that have health challenges where it's either giving birth and dying or saving yourself. Listen, when I was in college, one of my college besties had lupus and she got pregnant. And the doctors told her that her chance of survival was slim to none. But being a good Christian lady that she was, she chose to have this child. The child lived, she didn't. But imagine if we were living in this day and time and she had opted to say, you know what? I took the precautions that were needed, but yet I still ended up pregnant. And I think in the best interest of my life and being, I want to, give up this child. My friend Terry says, I honestly don't think a man should have a say or be able to vote on what a woman does with her body. Men have no idea what a woman is feeling physically or emotionally, and they don't. You truly don't. To be a woman, it is a lot. We have ups and downs, mood swings, hormonal imbalances. There are things that come with that. I don't know if you're familiar. I think it's called PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome or whatever. We have, some of us have cysts. We have endometriosis. And a lot of our hormonal balances cause problems for us daily. That's why people get mad at me when I say it, but I'm like, quite frankly, not to be sexist, but organizations, when they give vacation, they need to be giving up about 4 to 6 weeks of vacation, period, or at least 3 weeks of sick time. Because, baby, let me tell you something. When it's my time of the month, a week before, I'll never forget when I was still working on the Stagecoach. My ass fell asleep at my desk and woke up and didn't even know how I had fallen asleep. I can sleep, y'all, for 24 to 48 hours straight. No problem. That's how tired I am. It is exhausting. PMS is exhausting for me. And I've taken the herbs and done all that. This shit don't help. Don't have anything going on down there. No cyst. A couple of fibroids, but they're so small, they're insignificant. Look at me sharing all my business. Look at y'all all up in my uterus. Okay. But it's just one of those things where it's like you don't understand, you don't know. And in pregnancy, that's why a lot of people wait until after the first trimester to even tell people they're pregnant, because that is the most dangerous period. It's the first trimester. You could miscarriage easily. You gonna punish people for miscarrying? I mean, they trying to come for plan B. I mean, ladies, if y'all truly don't want to have any children, I would suggest freeze your eggs and get your tubes tied. Have a tubal ligation, as they call it. That's what I can tell you might be the best thing for you at this time. I'm just like, I honestly don't know what more there is to do in this country. We tell you that when you vote, it matters. Who you allow to sit in office matters. And how we got here is because of what happened when some of y'all don't go to midterm elections. Y'all think the presidential election is the only election. I preach this all the time in every video when I talk politics. And not only that, though, see, right now, the supreme law of the land is the Supreme Court, not to mention any treaties or anything like that where you negotiated, uh, like The Hague and all of that. I can't think right now. My mind is not. Now we do understand that police power and some other powers are delegated via the 10th Amendment to the states. But because it is now it's not unconstitutional for states to be able to say, hey, ma'am, you can't have an abortion. Now, I see a lot of companies are saying, hey, we're going to give people stipends to go and travel to get abortions if they need them in states that allow, because we all know California will forever probably be level, painted blue. Even with the Republican governor, it's still going to have blue principles, okay? And possibly Illinois. I think Illinois is a more liberal state. But it is very unfortunate that it's come to that. But to those companies, I want to ask, will you continue to consider giving money to these organizations? Now, what a lot of people don't know is this, because people be like, oh my God, Starbucks is donating. Not to say Starbucks is, it's just an example. Oh my God, Starbucks is donating to the Florida governor campaign. What's his name? DeSantis, or whatever his name is. But let me tell y'all something. Companies donate through these PACs on both sides. It's a numbers game. They got to play both sides. So are they going to divest from giving to politicians who co-sign this BS, or parties that co-sign this BS? Because that's the only way. See, politics is a money game. They love money. If you can hit them in the pockets, you can stop a lot of bullshit that goes on. But a lot of people aren't ready for that conversation. And now we become so desensitized. We feel like we can't unite as a people and fight against the machine, but we can't. I mean, trying to think, what is it that we rallied against recently? And for a case in point, Black people, Juneteenth, Walmart. Y'all didn't like the ice cream teas they were giving. If we could put that much effort into making one company take down something, imagine what we all can do as a united people to stop politicians from doing the dirty shit that they did. Case in point. And I get it. I'm not going to say here specifically what's going on, but if you watch the documentary on Netflix, Our Father, and he was part of some sort of religious sect that was all about being fruitful and multiply for a particular race, that's part of the narrative. There's a fear. I don't know why. I'm like, if you do the numbers, technically you are the minority, because Europe is only one country. You got Africa, South America, Asia, all people of what would be considered people of color. Who's the minority? Really? Because the majority is considered the minority. I'm just saying. But y'all don't want to talk about that. But the Versus was a dumpster fire, and today was a dumpster fire. I didn't watch it, but I did. I'm gonna get off of that. I'm on my soapbox about that again. Just so Diva is very disappointed, and I'm praying for all you women who are still of childbearing years and childbearing capabilities. It's sad. Child. And by the way, y'all, my friend Terry is a man, a father, a husband, and he doesn't agree with it. And we need more males to come out and say something. You can't continue to sit on your laurels and think that you can't continue to be passive. If they did this today, what more is to come? Slavery? Being extreme, but that's okay. They already got that because it's the prison. It's the school to prison pipeline, or once you get in the system, you're locked in, so it doesn't matter. We'll always have free labor. But no one wants to talk about it. And again, I encourage everyone to participate in their local elections. Um, because at the end of the day, the laws of the land only trickle down so far, and states have their own powers and laws that they can put into place. And we know that some of the most extreme is coming from Mississippi, Alabama. Um, Hell, I don't know what's going on in Georgia. I'm gonna be honest. Half the time I don't turn on the goddamn TV because I don't care anymore. Not to say that I don't care. I don't care to listen to all the negativity that's coming. It's really bad, and I just really in the last presidency, I kind of just gave up and said I'm not going to even watch. Let me shift this just a little because I can't see. um, I gave up. I gave up the ghost. I said I can no longer sit up here and watch the dumpster fire. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna do what I always do my civic duty, participate in local elections, and go from there. But what I cannot do is watch the shit because I just don't understand how it is that we've gotten to a point to where you have to talk about women's bodies. Why are women under attack? What are you wagging the dog for, really? Forgive the student loans, Joe. Anyway, whole thing fell off the bike the other day. He done rolled around the whole damn park, come to a stop, legs all feel like jello, and just fell over. Jesus. I said, hello, Lord, somebody help him, Jesus. Um, but I know that there are people out there who believe that abortions is murder. And you're entitled to that opinion. But it's also your choice not to participate. Um, it is okay for you to speak up if you feel as though it's for a religious reason, but you cannot stop people from making choices about their bodies. Hell, are y'all going to ban people from getting tattoos next? I mean, what's next, really? What's next? And I'm scared to even have to ask that. What's next? I am, but I said that already. I'm a little tipsy too. Oh shoot, that's thunder. I'm a little tipsy too. Um, but I didn't watch Versus, but I saw the clips and the memes, and it was a dumpster fire. Uh, Jay's daddy, I know I said senior is not pleased because if y'all don't know, Brandy and Ray J's dad is a vocal teacher who trains people to sing. And Ray J got up there and embarrassed the whole family bloodline. And why did he have his baby with him, his son? I was confused by that. I said, do the baby have earplugs in? Because that's too much stimulation and noise for that poor child. Was the child there for moral support because you knew you had struggle vocals? I'm confused. Um, Jeremiah, oh Jesus. He couldn't even hit, he wasn't, there was no key, there was no note. I said murder she wrote because he murdered that whole song and not in a good way. Or as we say in comedy, it was a bomb went off in here. God damn. I don't know what was that really B2K that am I saying that right, Lord? Because every time I say B2K, I'll be thinking about BTK from Kansas, you know, the serial killer. What was his name? Raider? Y'all know I'm one of them females that go to sleep every night to ID channel. I don't know if y'all know that. I go to sleep every night too. It's very comforting. You know, one night I had a dream me and Snoop Dogg went out solving mysteries together. It was like the first 48 with me and Snoop Dogg. It was a totally dope concept. I could totally do that. But Mario is the king. Mario has always had vocals, and he has been so underrated for so long. I think, if anything, there probably should have been a versus between him and Lloyd. Someone has suggested that we have a versus between Usher and Neo. I think that might be a good pairing. Or maybe Usher and Chris Brown. Yeah, Chris Brown churns out a lot of collabs and albums. Uh, Bless his heart. That's my baby. I know not everybody loves Chris Brown, but I do. I have forgiven him in the pardon of his sins, just as Rihanna has forgiven him. And I pray for him because he is a talented young man who had some childhood traumas that he has yet to contend with. And that is why he probably functions in the manner in which he does. And he has regrets about the things that he's done. I can tell. I too have studied mental health and also spent quite some time with clients in the criminal justice system during my law school years. So I know what I'm talking about. Y'all need to go ahead and move on to. And part of the reason, just like when we tell y'all stop telling these children they bad, that's probably why he still act out every now and then. But I think in his 30s, he's finally starting to kind of chill out. Please don't prove me wrong, Chris. Don't prove me wrong. Love ya. Love you like a son, not like a crew girl, you're sexy auntie. But I just think that it was terrible and a waste of time and resources. Yeah, but it was also a comedy. We got great memes out of it. I don't know what Omarion was doing, watermelon, but maybe he was trying to as a symbol, because for some reason Black people now are ashamed. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't give a damn who around. I'm going to eat my watermelon and fried chicken and collard greens. Although I usually eat the trifecta because I always stir fry. My farmer's market sells something called Southern Greens, which has turnips, collards, and mustards all together. And then I add spinach to the mix. It's actually my mother's recipe because I know for the longest in recipes in Black households, y'all be adding sugar to the greens to cut the bitterness. Please stop doing that. Just throw some spinach in there. That'll cut the bitterness too. Thank my mama. Okay. Thank Susie Mae Temple. Thank her. Okay, you just learned something new. Now, stop putting sugar in spaghetti. See, I'm on a tangent. That's what happens when you had a little alcohol. Just a little tank. But I really, really, really was disappointed to know that it was that bad, and I didn't watch it. But that was terrible. Honestly, since they kind of commercialized and made verses, when the very first one we had was Babyface and Lord Jesus Guy. Why is his name escaping me? I don't need to go out drinking anymore. What am I trying to say, Jesus? But yeah, all I can say is that pray for this nation. There is more to come, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. But again, I want to pray to God and say to Joe Biden, forgive the student loans, Joe. Stop having us have to go through court. Honestly, I need to just go ahead and file for disability with military. My goddamn hip and back still bother me to this day from an injury that I had when I was in MP school. Shit hurts. Chiropractor tried to fix it, and he did. Shout out to Dr. Craig Dossman, who is no longer practicing. I was sad to hear that because I was trying to figure out how I could scrape up some coins and go see Dr. Dossman. It's lightning outside, Jesus. But I think that's about it. There's not a lot going on in Diva's world. My friend Greg and I are supposed to be trying to bring back 2 for Tea with Greg David and Miss Sophia the Diva, where we cover a lot of topics over the course of time. But we just haven't been doing it, and I need to call and check on my friend. I'm a terrible friend, but I just been kind of going through a lot. As you know, on June 8th, I lost my fur baby, Miss Pumpkin. Actually, I think ultimately it was to a stroke. Um, my child in January underwent a major surgery by a different vet at a veterinarian hospital that I thought would definitely save my child and prolong her life for at least another 5 years. And yes, I do call my dog my child because that's what she was. She was my baby. I had her for almost 9 years. And there is a pain when you lose a fur child because it's just me and her. Like I used to always tell her, I said, "We all we got, Miss Pumpkin. We all we got," and we were all we got. And it's been hard. Um, some people like it's just a dog, but she was my consummate companion. I've been to hell and back with that dog. One day I'll probably just write a book and tell my story. Because leaving California and finally landing in Georgia and having to overcome some of the things that I had to overcome, if my dog hadn't have been there, I probably would have gave up. Because see, when you have a dog, you have to care for your dog. Like when I had a really bad breakup a few years ago, uh, my ex hurt me like because it came as a shock. And in hindsight, I should have seen it coming. Had it not been for Miss Pumpkin and me having to get up every day and walk her and feed her, I probably would have just I probably would have been in yeah, I would have been Bernadine and waiting to exhale in the dirty bathroom, going to the store and people be like, "Is she okay?" No, I was not okay at that time. That was an awful, low down, dirty breakup. It was awful. And you know, thank God for Miss Pumpkin. Thank God for Miss Pumpkin to be there for me to hold her and let me cry on her when the days were bad. I love my dog and I miss her. And she looks over me every day while I work now because I did have her cremated. Yeah, I'm one of those pet parents. But I am on the hunt for another dog. I didn't think I was going to start looking this early, but I am. I'm going bigger this time. Although I did find one that I really like and I filled out an application. But riddle me this. What is up with these rescue groups? Y'all be talking about adopt, don't shop, and then y'all be coming at us talking about we want $500 for this dog. What the? I can buy a new puppy for $500. That's supposed to be AKC registered. I looked at, but if they let me have, I will pay that registration fee. I will find the money to get that dog because he is just like Miss Pumpkin, and I wanted a bigger dog too, but he's just like Miss Pumpkin. The way they described him, I said I gotta have him. If I'm gonna get a Shih Tzu, I'm gonna get that one. That'll be my son. I've always preferred male dogs over female dogs because female dogs have the same problem sometimes as females. I mean, y'all, when I first got Pumpkin, I had to take her to have surgery to remove mammary glands. She had all these little tumors, because she hadn't been spayed yet. And then the vet was so rude. And I told people, what was that, Lakewood vet in Long Beach? I said, y'all, he don't need to be practicing. He just gonna squeeze the limit to that could be cancer. Oh well, gee, great. Thanks for telling me. I just got a dog. It might be cancer. She's only 3 or 4. Who does that? But on my wish list for dogs, though, in addition to another Shih Tzu, so long as it's a male, um, I want a boxer. That's always been my number one dog. But lately, I've been wanting a Great Dane. I know people say they don't live long, but they can live to about 14 years. My other wish list dog, I really am drawn to these South African border bells, or Cane Corso, or Kanaka Corso, however it's pronounced. Uh, must be all black. Um, so yeah. Oh, and a standard size poodle. Many years ago, I had a poodle named Fifi who was a miniature poodle. Um, Beautiful dog, beautiful dog. Unfortunately, that my parents had to give the dog up because we had to move, and where we moved, we couldn't take the dog. But my friend Cy has a standard size poodle, and one of my friends growing up in my Girl Scout troop, they had a standard size poodle too. So I'm familiar with that breed. And one of my favorite law school professors, he had 4 standard size poodles. I don't know how he had 4 standard, but they had a large house and relatively wealthy, so they did well. And they're very good dogs, and they are the original hunting dog. A lot of people don't know that about the standard size poodle. They are the original. That's why their coat is made the way that it is, and they're hyperallergenic. Um, so those are my wish list dogs. The only way I'll get a small dog again is if they let me have this one at this rescue group, and they have not responded to my application, and I'm upset because I'm like, please don't give my dog away, because if I could get him, I would be just fine, because he'd be the perfect companion for me, and his health record seems to be impeccable. And again, as I tell all new pet parents or pet parents right now who have pets that don't have any health issues, go get Trupanion. Because had I had Trupanion, I honestly think Pumpkin would probably still be here, because I would have been able to make better choices for my dog. I My dog had a seizure in March. My dog has never had seizures until after that surgery, and I didn't have the funds to really do my due diligence and find a better doctor to help my dog. And the damage was probably already done. Whatever wiring they clipped or whatever. I mean, Pumpkin could barely walk after the first seizure, and then she finally started getting better. And then Sunday, um, before she passed, she had another seizure. And then that Tuesday night, she had another seizure. And then throughout the night, it kept getting worse. And I just finally had to take her to Blue Pearl, which I should have taken her to for the surgery. Um, and she passed. And the once I passed her off to the tech, um, she was gone. And so it's been painful and lonely, quite frankly, because I don't go outside. Like, my sorority sister sent me a plant, and the only reason I even went downstairs was to go and bring water up for my plants, because I buy distilled water for certain plants that I have, who are persnickety about their watering. My prayer plants are the main ones. You can see some of them back here, because I don't even put them in the light. I keep them under grow lights. And they had bought me another persnickety plant, which is actually doing pretty good. What the hell is a peace lily? A peace lily. But the ones that people complain about being the most challenging tend to be the plants I'm better able to take care of, because I damn near killed my Monstera, Big Buddha. I had to propagate him completely and start a whole new plant, cut off all the leaves. So, hey, John, yeah, it was bad. And Pumpkin was not a barker, and she didn't make noise. So I knew my child was in pain when she was howling. I ain't never heard her do that before. So I took her. Honestly, Pumpkin died in the car, if I'm going to be honest about it. But I told her, I said, hold on, you're a whipping. You got to hold on. We're strong. And when we got there, they got her in. She was gone. And I said, no, wake up. You got to hold on, Pumpkin. Stay with me. But she couldn't stay. I don't ever want to go through stuff like that again alone, ever again. But I did. So, anyway, let me get off of here because I'm starting to get emotional. But thank you guys who did join the conversation. The fight is not over. You now have to fight on your local levels to keep things like abortions from happening, from not being able to happen. I think we should all be allotted freedom of choice, because even in Christianity, we are afforded free will. God offers us the opportunity to follow him, or we can live in the ways of the world. Why can't I choose what I want to do with my body, even if it is quote unquote wayward? Or women, I don't know why women are under attack in this season, but if you are a Christian or if you are a person who prays, I suggest you start praying and asking God for direction and listening to those directions and taking action if you are a believer. If you believe in some higher being, the universe, which when you say the universe, I still say you're still talking about God because he made all of it, in my opinion. But I don't knock anything because y'all know I post all day with Buddha and everybody else. Because at the end of the day, all religions is one. Do no harm and love one another. If you really think about it and pay attention, that is the universal thing. Love and do no harm. And there's some harm being done because some women are going to die, some children are going to suffer. You don't even put an infrastructure in to protect children when they get here. I mean, let's not even talk about the mass shootings at schools. I'm not gonna even go there right now because I didn't talk about that. That was too painful. Everybody know Diva loved the children, and that hurt my heart. How you gonna sit up there? You got body armor and shields and shit, and you scared. You just letting all the children get picked off, and the teachers too. Hell does that. Hell, everybody knows when you sign up for law enforcement, the military, security, there's a possibility we gonna come home one day in a body bag. I was scared to death when I signed up, but I did what I had to do to get through school because my parents couldn't afford to pay for school. And in the end, that didn't even work out, but that's a story for a different day. But I was honorably discharged. But don't change jobs when you sign up because they take your stuff back and tell you got to re-enlist if you want to get your GI Bill. Because I decided I didn't want to be an MP. I decided I wanted to be a legal specialist. Didn't read the fine print. The lawyer in me had just not been cultivated thoroughly enough to read the fine print at that time. Anyway, y'all have a blessed night. Y'all take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there in these streets. And now, since I am here, this has been a Diva Disturbed. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. And stay blessed. And where am I? ATL, huh? I just always wanted to say that. Sorry. Okay, let me turn these off.